No, actually, we didn't. It was more of come up with a new concise set of samples, keeping it very 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 low, different designs to start with. At the time when I knew I wanted to take this to the next level, for me, having inspiration and mentors was, if anything, is extremely important. It's something that I'm passionate about anyway. So using my network of friends and family and colleagues and people I know to find people within the industry and within the space who could help me was one of the first things I did as well. So I managed to, through a friend, a very close friend, get in contact with a guy who has been in the streetwear space for 20 plus years. So I reached out to him, sat down with him, spoke about the business, the brand, the products, got his opinion. He's seen brands come and go in this space like mine. He knows exactly what works, what doesn't work. So it was very important to get his view and his opinion on it, get his advice, which helped massively. And to this day, still go to him for advice on anything and everything. So that was a very important part for me, is getting that kind of validation and that I was going in the right direction.
With regards to obviously finding your mentor, obviously you've reached out into your local network to identify the best one, or at least you were put in touch with someone who'd been in the streetwear industry for 20 years. Did you meet any other mentors that you had identified as great, but not quite fitting for your current situation?
I think I personally would never rule out anybody in terms of being a mentor. I think everyone's got something to give, whether it's good or bad. There's some that I keep in contact more so than others. One of the initially a mentor I had, or someone who was very a go-to person at the beginning. There was a vice president at Selfridges who I actually reached out to over LinkedIn. Didn't know him through my connections at all, with the intention initially to speak about just ask him some ideas about the kind of brands and the kind of products he sees come in and out through Selfridges. Selfridges is ultimately where, from my perspective, any fashion person wants to be at some point. To be able to walk in Selfridges and see our brand on their shelves would be a dream. So why not reach out to someone in that space to find out how to do that? So I reached out to this particular guy just with some questions, really. Met up over a coffee, asked some questions, built a relationship. Now, obviously, his experience in the luxury space and in Selfridges is very, very different to where we are at the moment. So, that's not to say over time that mentor relationship will get closer. But he's always got something good to offer. There's another mentor that I've only started recently getting in. I've only recently been introduced to, who's got, he's a consultant in the retail industry. He's got, 20, 25 plus years in the industry, helping from big brands to small brands with their merchandising, planning, marketing. Again, through my network. All of them have something different to offer, and all of them have their own opinions, which can be, when one's saying one thing and one's saying the other, it's difficult who to listen to when they're also experienced. But that's something, I guess, a risk you need to do what you feel is best for your brand at that moment in time. But all of them have something to offer. So I use the mentorship relationship in the best way possible, given what they can add and advise to me and the business.
Superb. And with regards to anyone that's actually looking out to find a mentor, did you ever have to give anything in order to receive advice, or was it just a relationship building escapade?
It was mainly showing enthusiasm. I think the main thing with these people is that they're all very busy. They all have very busy lives and jobs. And if I want to take half an hour of their time out of their day to buy them a coffee, to ask them questions, you need to be enthusiastic about what you do. and you need to show that in your initial reach out. So you're kind of selling yourself as a person. Not forget about the brand at the time being, but you need to sell yourself to them so they want to spend half an hour out their day to spend time with you. The more senior they are, the more requests like this they probably get. So it's about standing out. So whether that's, you know, sending something for free and saying, hey, I'd love to get your feedback on this. Here's one for free. It'd be great to get your input or ideas. From a mentor perspective, I haven't sent anything for free. I've taken stuff with me and that kind of stuff. And from a mentor perspective as well, if they like the stuff, and I found this, if you meet up with them and they like the stuff, actually they understand business. They don't want free stuff. They're happy to buy from you, you know, and contribute to the business. I think the most important thing is selling yourself as a person as to why they want to invest in you, because as a mentor, you're not just investing in a brand, you're investing in that person and helping them as a person grow their brand. And also it's something that they feel that they can put their name on as well, you know, like specifically more, like I said, more senior people, you know, big jobs and a big influence within the industry or within the space. They don't want to just put their name associated with anything. So you need to make sure that your brand has that kind of level of can hold. Yeah, exactly. And it's not a joke. It's not something, you know, fun. It's something that, you know, that they can get behind if they feel that passion for it.
Yeah, it kind of reminded me of, I think you might have watched it, but my interview with Baron, that 17-year-old CEO, and he had to get the Pointer CEO and COO on board as mentors. He sent them a 10-page white paper. No, that was, I don't know if he pitched himself. I think that was a comparison I was making to Jordan Belfort in Wolf of Wall Street, which is hilarious. But he sent them a 10-page white paper offering to solve certain issues within the augmented reality community. And he was only 14, 15 at the time.
Yeah,
ridiculous.
Crazy.
Yeah, really ridiculous. But that's the kind of things you have to do. I suppose when you're that young, to demonstrate that you can be taken seriously. But obviously, as long as you can conduct yourself with some kind of authority, and you know, perhaps you've got a university degree, and obviously a name like Capgemini behind you definitely does help. But it does make a huge difference. Knowing your stuff and knowing when to reach out and knowing how to approach them with some form of respect and with some certain element of passion behind your product. And as you just said, to provide it with sufficient, to make sure that it has sufficient gravitas.